And when I graduated, I also got a second lieutenant's commission in the anti-aircraft coast artillery. And so I was subject to call. And then in October of 1940, they started drafting people. And they drafted them for a year. But so in 41, early 41, I got orders to go on active duty for a year. And I was on active duty with, I was called on active duty with the Air Force and sent to Chinook Field in Illinois. And I was a personnel officer in a school squadron. And each school squadron had about 3,000 men in it, and I was the personnel officer, had to pay those guys and get them out of jail and all the stuff that happens to new recruits, which is what they all were. And I didn't like that job, and early in 91, or I mean early in 41, it became possible to have to take pilot training without resigning your commission. And so I signed up for that, and that's how I eventually became a pilot. Well, really, what made me choose was that I didn't like being a ground officer in the Air Force. I noticed that the pilots were the guys that had all the good duty, and so I became a pilot more because I didn't want to be a ground officer. But fortunately, I did all right, and I got my wings and got assigned. After I got my wings, I was assigned to train in B-25s, and partway through that training in B-25s, one of the pilots in the group that was leaving this training was transferred out for, I won't get into all that story, but he was transferred out of there, and these guys had 18 new planes coming in, and they were going to leave right away to go overseas, and they needed somebody to replace that guy. And they put all the names of the next group, which I was in a pot, and don't you know, they picked my name to replace this guy. So really, I went overseas with 3 hours of training in a B-25. But we flew over the southern route, which was down through South America to Natal, and we were flying over to Africa, and flying down there, the two pilots in each plane alternated days, so I got a lot of flying, just flying down through the Caribbean islands and South America and across to Africa. And so by the time I got over there, I was pretty conversant with that B-25 airplane.